What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the best podcast on planet Earth, Dark Screen Society. We are joined as always by the squad. We got Gigi, say hi.
Hi.
Chuck,
Hello, people.
Brian,
Hello.
and
Top
me,
of the
course.
morning to you.
Top of the morning.
Top of the morning.
How has everyone's week been? I want to get started before we get into the whole thing and ask what everybody's been watching this week. What's been your favorite? And I'm going to start with you, Chuck, because you have a sweet background.
I know, dude.
Congrats.
Thank you. It's new and improved because I was getting just so much fan mail about like how I make my bed and like, can I keep you company in it? And, you know, it just was getting a little bit too much of a hassle. So, you know, we had to switch it up a little bit. I've watched a decent amount of stuff this week. Nothing that really blew me away. The thing that I watched this week that I really enjoyed, because I'm trying to find things, because everybody's going to do to us content creators what they did during October. Everybody and their mother is going to be doing Christmas horror movies or Thanksgiving, and there's only so many of them. But I did come across this movie that's coming out on December 6th called You Are Not Me. And You Are Not Me is a Spanish Christmas film, and it's about this girl that has been estranged from her family for about 3 years, and when she goes back there, her family has taken in this refugee, Nadia. But like when she shows up, it's like creepy. Like the lady is like in her wedding dress, has her grandmother's ruby earrings in that she wanted her whole life, but they're just like, fuck it, we're gonna gift them to this refugee girl. So it like starts off with this like it's so uncomfortable. And as the story unravels, I kind of knew where it was going, but they executed it so well that it didn't matter. It's definitely going in the Christmas rotation. You Are Not Me. Be on the lookout for that one.
You said it's a Spanish film?
It is Spanish and it's subtitled.
I bet you Eli's seen that one.
Very well. He didn't log it on Letterboxd, but he did like the thing, so I don't think he's seen it. He just wrote "Como está" underneath it. You know? Hola. Yeah, I got you. I'm done here. Yeah.
Brian, what about you?
So I've been mostly watching new releases on Tubi, so obviously I wouldn't recommend any of them.
Wow. All right, shade.
Yeah,
They're never going to sponsor you now, dude.
That box ain't never coming.
Oh, well. But I did, after our discussion last week, watch The Substance. Finally, you all pushed me to do it.
And
it's phenomenal. So
yeah. 5 out of 5?
I think I 4.5 it. Because
why?
I like the only thing that's on mine that's got a 5 is Jaws. So it has to be as good as Jaws to get a 5.
What?
It's just how it is.
Wait, Jaws is your only 5 out of 5
That's your
movie?
only
Well,
5
actually,
out
that's
of
not
5?
true. I also had a joke one, because when we went to watch Frankie Freako at Fantastic
Joke
Fest.
Just kidding.
Don't
I said
interrupt.
joke
Gigi,
one.
that's
I said
rude.
joke Queen.
So at Fantastic Fest,
Joke when Phoenix.
before Frankie Freako, there was a short called God Fart. So I rated that
What?
5 out of 5.
Was it good?
Like it was like really silly and fun.
Just
Like
silly,
it's
goofy.
definitely not a 5 out of 5, but it's about God farting and creating a universe. So I was like 5 out of 5. Perfect.
That's pretty good, dude.
Amazing.
So, okay, you love The Substance. Anything else?
I will give one Tubi movie a shout for trying. It was called Cursed. I don't even really know how to describe it. It's an American guy who's stranded in Romania. He eats an apple and steals from like a unmanned fruit stand, and then he ends up at a house. And the woman's like, "Oh, come in!" And it's her mum that owns the fruit stand. She's like, "Oh, somebody stole from there in the past, and they got cursed." And then he gets cursed, and it's not
Is that Snow
spectacular.
White?
That sounds original.
It sounds like Snow
It's
White
not
to me.
spectacular, but like there's some really good body horror in it, which I was not expecting, and
Oh,
quite a cool creature. But unfortunately, we don't get the creature enough. So it's confusing, but it's like for a 2B horror, it's all right.
nice.
That sounds good. TG? I know we saw a
Dude.
few movies together, so I'll let you go first.
I'm not gonna lie. I had a great week with movies.
Yeah.
Great. Like I rarely have a great week with movies, and this was great. We saw Companion, which comes out in January with Sophie Thatcher, and I mean a ton of other people, but their names escape me right now. And it was phenomenal.
Mhm.
Is it a horror movie?
Yes,
It's like a horror
thriller.
comedy.
It's like a horror comedy thriller.
It says from the team behind Barbarian. Is it the same director?
No. So
He
this
produced it.
director,
Oh, that's
so yeah, it's the producer. So this director, it's actually his first feature film.
Oh wow.
Yes, and for a first feature film, like very
He crushed it.
impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, he crushed it.
So good. Everyone see that. And then I watched It's What's Inside on Netflix, and I loved that. I also watched A Quiet Place 2, loved that. Had zero
Killian Murphy's in that movie, by
Yeah.
the way.
dude.
It's my favorite one of the franchise.
I literally was like, that guy looks like Cillian Murphy. Like when he's like sitting on the baseball stand, and then I was like, wait, that's fucking Cillian Murphy. I was like,
Yeah.
what? And I was like, no way, he's in this whole movie, in the whole fucking movie. I was like, oh my God. I also watched a movie called Sorry to Bother You. Has anybody watched that?
yeah.
You hated it, didn't you?
No, I loved
It's
it. I
Phenomenal.
thought it was so insane. Like literally one of the most original ideas. Like you couldn't pay me a gazillion dollars to figure out where this fucking movie was going. I was
It's
like,
so good.
what? Yeah.
Who's that? Is that Lakeith Stanfield? Is it
Yeah.
that? He's so
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
He's
He's
awesome.
in so many good movies. And
Dude,
Atlanta. Atlanta's good as well.
I've only seen like
Atlanta's
one
great.
episode.
There's one episode in that that's like proper horror as well.
Oh shit, that makes sense.
The Michael Jackson one.
Yes.
Atlanta's great.
So yeah, just like an absolute great. Oh, when we saw F Mary Kill, and honestly, it's not going to be for everybody, and it's not an original idea whatsoever. But I laughed so hard; it was hilarious. But
Me and Gigi were laughing our asses off, and there's one point in the movie where one of the characters goes, "I'm crazy, but in a fun way." And I looked over at Gigi. I was like, "That's you."
Seth, you just know me. But that was
know.
really like just very fun. Great week of movies. Made me realize why I love them.
Yeah, I am 100% with you. And obviously, we saw most of those movies together. Companion was easily my favorite of the bunch. I just thought the acting was superb from everybody involved. And like the first twist I didn't see coming, and then the second twist I didn't see coming. And like there was just so many twists and turns that you're just like, what is going on? And when you find out what's going on, your jaw's just going to hit the floor.
You spoiled there's twists in it. Thanks. Now I'm going to be looking out for them.
Yeah. for all the
Listen,
twists,
Any
thanks,
any
man.
movies
Wow,
you don't
dude.
recommend, Seth?
Yes, actually, there is.
ruin
I don't recommend.
every movie.
There is
Yeah,
a movie I
what the
don't
hell,
recommend.
dude?
It's called Hot Frosty. You know,
Oh, it was bad.
it was bad. Listen, I'm in the
Aw.
months now where I love me some cheesy Netflix rom-com Christmas movies, and Hot Frosty was so bad
How did you expect a film called Hot Frosty to be good?
because I'm a
No.
hopeless romantic, Chuck. Okay,
They're so
Yep.
good. I
Hot
love
Frosty.
Christmas movies.
Has anyone ever made like a Hallmark Netflix Christmas movie where it starts off like that like trope cheesy romance, but then it slowly progresses into a horror movie?
no, but we
No, they
should do
should.
that.
Okay.
I actually
this,
don't
cut it,
know, but
cut it.
I know cut this part. But Chad Michael Murray has to, dude. If Chad Michael Murray isn't in it, it's not a good Christmas movie. I'm sorry. He's the Christmas king. Have you ever seen any of his Christmas?
They're great.
I don't
Dude,
even
they're
know
so
who he is.
I've not seen anything since.
You
One
know,
Tree
you
Hill,
know
right?
Chad
So,
Michael.
Sophia Bush.
You know, he's in.
I mean, you just seen The Fly like a month ago, so don't give me no shit about Chad Michael Murray.
no, you know Chad Michael Murray, and
You
he was
definitely
in.
definitely recognize him.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
I
Look
will
him up.
say the cast,
BRB.
the cast in in Hot Frosty was great though. I mean, like for how good the cast was, I was surprised. Like Craig Robinson was in it,
I
and
love
like,
Craig Robinson.
but his like role was like the worst thing ever, and I was like, "What is this?"
Oh, that sucks.
Because he's
Oh.
hilarious.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This guy was in Sand Dollar Cove.
One
Yes.
Of
Tree Hill
Love.
as well, is he not?
Yeah, it was
Yes,
One
he's
Tree
in
Hill.
One Tree Hill.
He was in Love in Winterland, one of my personal Oh, he was in Riverdale. Yeah, I have no clue who this fucking guy is.
No,
Oh yeah, he was in
wasn't-
Riverdale.
None.
Wasn't he in?
He was in House of Wax.
Yeah,
with
I was gonna say he
Paris
was in House of
Hilton.
Wax.
You know
Hey,
who
put some
else is?
respect.
Who
I'm
else
about to
is
go
like?
in on Christmas movies today with Chad Michael Murray. I'll be
Dude.
crying with Kleenex off.
Those are the
curled up on the
ones,
couch.
man.
I'm in. It's over.
Lindsay Lohan's become like the queen of like horror, not horror, like
Holiday.
Christmas, holiday.
Yeah, she's got great holiday movies
I
too.
have such a crush on Lindsay Lohan back in
I
the
know.
day.
Dude, who didn't? She's still
Yeah.
she looks great still.
Yeah,
Is she in
does.
that movie?
No, not this one. But
No, but
they
she's
do,
in another
I'm
Christmas
not
one.
interested.
they do make a reference to another Christmas movie that she's in, and one of the characters goes, "Wait, I went to high school with her." So I
Oh,
thought
like
that was
Mean
really-
Girls.
like Mean Girls, and I
Oh,
was like,
that's
"Wait, is
so
this the same
fucking
universe?"
funny. Oh, I love that. Just
And I
fan service.
just fan service. So I thought that was the best part of the movie. The rest of it, not so much.
Yeah,
So,
fuck it. We're not doing Final Destination. We're doing
oh,
cheesy Christmas movies.
I had
yeah,
another
right.
idea for a horror movie, but I did. It's just like a pre-idea. So I called it something like Starlets, and it's all the actresses that were big back in the day, like the Olsen twins and
Oh yeah.
Lindsay Lohan, all these kind of guys, girls. And then they have to go away on an island because they're going to start filming a reality show about them coming back into their
That's a
like
great
fame,
idea.
and then the slasher suddenly sneaks in and takes them all out.
You
That
know
sounds
what,
legit.
Brian? Brian, we should never mention that again and cut it because I made a new friend that might be very interested in that idea and probably could make that happen.
$1 million.
Wait,
He said.
That's a great title too.
It is.
Starlet.
Man.
I think that's amazing. I'm going to
That's a-
mention it to her and say, listen, my Irish friend needs credit for this idea.
Dude. But
And if-
only if you can give him a visa to come to America.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if Lindsay Lohan and all that are in it as well, I don't want people pretending to be starlets. I want like the
You want the
The
real
legit-
one.
Starlets.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want the people that were like great back in the day. Like this is
You
their,
need
this is
Oh.
their
Rose McGowan
comeback
in
now.
there.
Pam
Dude.
Anderson.
But they've like I think
can go
Pam
all the
Anderson's
way
on a
back.
renaissance. Pam Anderson's on her way up. I think she's got a new movie coming out of the looks.
She does have a new movie
Doing really
coming
well.
out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Damn.
Listen, Brian, you're too cool for this podcast, apparently.
Okay,
Like you're about
bye
to be
then.
writing movies and stuff and like
Hell, what the fuck?
become famous. Before we continue to the brunt of this episode, though, I did want to say I did see another movie called Hippo, and I know Chuck, you saw it too. And we gotta talk about that real quick because that movie fucking rips, as Chuck would say.
Hippo is an absolute cinematic masterpiece. And I will go on record saying that. And I've watched it twice now. And the second time it's even, excuse me, better than the first time. And but I thought didn't we talk about this last week?
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I didn't bring
Yeah.
it up. Yeah, we should probably chop that.
We
Go
don't have
ahead.
to chop
Well,
it,
well,
it's
one
fine.
thing we
I
can leave
loved
in,
it.
there's a horror movie coming out about a killer hippo. That's getting
Is
filmed.
there?
Yes, Hungry Hippos.
Oh, the Hungry Hippos.
No, it's not Hungry Hippos. It's not about the
Oh.
board game. I said to them, like Signature are doing it, Signature UK, I think. So I said, look,
Oh,
you need to get in contact with Justin because he's made this poster already. He just changed the name a little bit.
Yeah, dude,
I
for real.
love Slasher Talk. Sorry, I love his
Yeah.
Hungry Hippo poster. I want to see that on the front of a
Yeah.
movie box.
poster's amazing.
Dude.
Did you
Yeah.
see the trailer for Popeye the Slayer Man?
It looks
Yes.
stupid.
I don't know
Apparently,
if that's the worst, though.
Horrible.
horrible. Apparently, there's that's not even the one that they announced a few weeks ago. There's another one, according
God,
to
they need to stop.
Chris.
Wait, there's
Yeah,
two
3C
Popeye movies?
That's what 3C Films was saying on Twitter yesterday. Is that's like a completely different one than the one that they announced recently.
Just
That's
like
what
a
everyone-
Mousetrap.
ideas. Like,
Yeah, I was
Starlet.
just gonna say that. That's like the Mousetrap and then Steamboat or
Mhm.
Screamboat, and I'm like, guys,
So he just eats
Stop.
spinach. Yeah. Okay. Well, enough of horrible movie talk. Let's get into the best topic ever. And today we are talking about Final Destination, the entire franchise, because it is one of the best, one of the most brutal, and it scarred multiple generations. So getting started here, I wanted to ask you guys, because obviously, people have premonitions in these movies and they're like, they have this feeling of something bad's going to happen. So has there ever been a moment in any of your lives where like you had a feeling that something was going to happen and it did happen, or there was something where you could have gone somewhere one day and then that day there was an accident? So I'm going to start with you, Chuck, because it looks like you have an answer to that.
No, actually, I don't, but that's okay because we'll just pick up on that. I have experienced in my life several times. I've had like legit deja vu where
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been in a situation and it'd be pretty cool if EOS Webcam Utility was sponsoring our episode right now.
I know. I disappeared.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But I've had some I don't know if I would call them premonitions, but I definitely have been like standing in my kitchen or at work and like seeing a customer coming out and having this conversation and leading into, something that could have been, like this potential like roof leak or things like that. So nothing on the aspect of, the NASCAR race and the crack in the ceiling,
freaking Flight 180.
Yeah, and Flight 180 or the toaster in my bathtub. I mean, I've thought about that toaster in my bathtub a couple of times, but like never had like a premonition of it, So, but yeah, like legit deja vu. So I believe that that's like real, and people do really have like
Oh yeah.
premonitions.
Brian,
Your voice just cracking up.
I know.
It
I
did.
always gotta point it out.
You know, it's fine. It happens. I'm used to it. Okay.
So not to the extent of like a Final Destination, but once when I was in a pub with an ex and a group of friends from work, like there was I felt like there was an atmosphere. I was like, something bad's going to happen here. Like I could just feel it, like it was thick in the air. And then about 20 minutes later, like a group of drunk guys threw a chair over the bar. Some people
Oh,
had a
wow.
fight broke out. So like I didn't know that was going to happen, but I just kind of
Yeah.
felt like I think we should leave here because it doesn't feel right. So that's as close
You
as
can
I've ever
find
had
me
to
in
it.
the pub.
Okay, 50 Cent. Gigi.
No, I've never had a premonition, but I did have like a bad feeling. But this kind of like this, I don't know, this is probably like a bad thing because it like solidified the feeling that like, okay, maybe I shouldn't trust my gut if I have a bad feeling about things, which I hate because one time my family goes camping every year during the summer, and one year we were all and we like caravan there because we bring like 30 people. And so like one year we were driving and then like somebody's like tire popped, and then so we all had to stop, and then we got that fixed, and then right after that it was like the trailer like light blew out, and then we had to like stop and fix that. And then like my brother got a call about something about like the house and something, and so we had to like stop. And then I literally remember calling my mom and being like, I don't think that we should go. Like I was like, we're on the side of the highway. Right. I literally had like a Final Destination moment. I was like, this feels like Final Destination. Like everything is saying that like we shouldn't get on here or that we shouldn't go. And like, what if we're driving and we crash and die? And these were all the ways trying to tell us that we shouldn't go, but nothing fucking happened. So I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't freak out as much when those things happen. But I don't want that feeling because what if I ignore all the signs and then I die? But that was the only time.
I will say I've always had that, like, ever since these movies, whenever I get on a roller coaster, like my mind just goes racing of like the worst possible thing that's gonna happen, especially on I think it's Space Mountain, the one that's like pitch black.
Oh,
And I'm
yes,
just like, I
dude.
can't see anything, and I'm like, these things, like, it's gonna come off the rails. I'm gonna go flying through the wall, and it's
Yeah.
the scariest shit ever. So there was one incident though. I didn't have like a premonition or like feeling or anything like that, but me and my buddies were in Austin just for, I forgot what it was for. I think it was just for vacation. But I don't know if you guys remember, there was that really bad shooting on that like really busy street a few years ago. And we were
No.
on that street the night before.
Oh my God, that's scary.
Which is like terrifying to think that like we could have been there the next day.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And I thought that was just kind of like nuts. And like, I mean, obviously good thing that we weren't there, but it's just like horrendous. And then obviously, you know about my roller coaster incident where the person fell off next to me.
That's
Dude,
amazing.
oh my God. I was like just telling somebody that story, and I was like, I cannot believe that Seth was just like, yeah, I wasn't that traumatized. That would live around. I would have nightmares about that
Like,
every
it's-
single.
yeah, it's
Like,
no
I
big
still
deal.
go on them.
I got in the next line.
I mean,
I'll
that's
never
probably-
ride a roll-
yeah.
never again.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
probably
no.
why I think I'm going to die every time I get on a roller coaster now. It's like, oh, it's going to come
Dude.
off the tracks. I'm good.
You know what I do think of though, like not premonition, but like a I guess like a near death thing is I always think of that video. This like haunts me ever since I've seen it. Have you guys seen the video of the guy on 9/11 who's like he's like watching the towers and he's like, oh my God, he's like, that's my building right there. And he's like, I called out sick today. And he's like laughing, like, but because he's like so incredible. And then it like sets in that he's like, oh my God, like I would be dead right now. And he's like, and that video
That's
like
terrifying.
lives rent free in my head.
It's so
To
creepy.
No, like to be like, if I didn't call in sick, I would have died in like the world's freaking worst, like terrorist
attack,
attack. Yeah.
Like that's
Crazy.
insane. Have you guys heard like those like audio calls? Like they
Oh,
like
no.
it's heartbreaking. It's
No,
fucked.
I can't. I can't
From
do those.
9/11?
Yeah, they like
Yes.
share that shit all over. Like it'll
No,
randomly
every
pop up on
9/11 they
Twitter.
have it.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I
like,
hate it.
I can't.
I
There's
literally
a-
can't.
There's a brief story about that if you guys want to hear it. But I met this gentleman through, he's like a therapist who was helping a friend of mine that had severe PTSD. Like I'm talking bad.
Yeah.
And this guy does this practice that's like a new wave thing. It's called tapping. and it's like a therapy thing where they like tap you on different places and like
Oh,
channel
okay,
your
Oh,
yeah.
I've
energy
heard of
to
that.
let go of trauma. But this guy did. I went with my friend to support my friend, and this guy like spoke and did like this seminar on his practice. He has no license, no nothing, like no college, no school, no nothing. He just knows how to do this thing that helps people. He was called in to ground zero after 9/11 to help support workers, like all the people like answering the phones and dealing with the calls, and like, you know, like all the, you know, secondary workers and everything like that, to do this thing to relieve all that stuff. And some of the stories that he told about, you know, what these people experience, like just by being on the phone, you know, was like, it was one of the most powerful things I've ever heard in my entire life. Because it was so fucking sad, but
Yeah.
you know, you think about all these people that like were in that experience and lost their lives and their families, but about the people like helping, they had to like answer the
Yeah.
phone and listen to like, hey, where's my dad at, or things like
Yeah.
that.
Oh my God. Yeah, you don't really think about that. Like,
No, it's heavy, man.
oh my God.
That
Not
I'm
that
sucks.
that has
depressed.
anything to do with Final Destination.
Hey,
Well,
well,
Just say fuck it.
it does. I mean, death kind of has a lot to do with Final Destination, as it's like kind of like the main fucking thing. So
Just a little bit, yeah.
just a little
right.
bit.
just a
Yeah,
little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, I know in the franchise there's like multiple ways you can cheat death, either by killing somebody or like they don't really make it clear on how you can actually escape death. Either you die or you kill somebody. Um, what like do you think it is possible to cheat death? Like if like especially in the
Ooh.
franchise, do
Have
you
you
think?
guys ever had it? Have you guys ever cheated death?
Yeah, have you, GG?
Well, yes. One
Yes.
time I was I when I went camping, maybe I should stop going camping. But one
Yeah,
time when I went
I love
camping,
your camping stories.
it's so
dude,
good.
it's just like a free for all out there. We I was like 9, maybe like no, probably younger than that. But me and my cousin we were walking across like the rapids, and I didn't really see that there was like a really strong undertow under one of like the little rapid areas, and I was crossing and it like sucked me under, but I was like wearing like my clothes and like my shoes, and I literally was like trying to swim up, and it just kept sucking me under to the point where like I started swallowing water, and I remember like my tiny baby 9-year-old brain, I was like, I'm gonna die right now. And then like my body like went into like fight or flight, because then I started kicking off my shoes because it was like towing, it was like, you know, pulling me down. And then I was like taking off like my clothes to try to like not be as heavy. And then all of us, I was literally like accepting death. I was like, I am gonna fucking die out here. And then all of a sudden I felt this like arm wrap around me, and it was my cousin. And I was like throwing up water when I got out. I was like, dude, I almost just died. And he
It's
was like, whatever.
It's funny you say that because I had a similar experience, but not camping. But I went to a water park, and you know those like giant wave pools where they like force the
Yes.
waves, and there's like everybody's in
Yeah,
those
those
like
are scary.
inflatable like tube things,
Yeah.
and the donuts. Well, I was in one of the donuts, and I got forced under, and I couldn't find my empty donut, and I was like trying to find a spot where I could like catch a breath, and I couldn't find anything. I was like legit drowning in there. And then I just like popped my head through somebody else's donut, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
That's terrifying, dude. Ugh, water deaths, I hate those are like my least favorite to watch on screen too. I
Yeah,
hate like
Worst.
drowning deaths.
Terrifying.
Gross.
like shoot me, electrocute me, do whatever you want, but drowning, no, I'm good.
Drowning? Ugh, no,
Yeah,
no, no, no. I hate
Chuck,
that.
did you cheat death? Have you cheated death? Can you cheat death?
Twice
Oh,
that I know
do
Oh,
of.
tell.
I mean, twice that I
yeah, that you
know of.
know of. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in two really, really, really horrific car accidents.
Mhm.
I was in one. My friend had a like 1996 Ford Probe GT, but he had it all like got it out like, you know, like a race pack. I mean, a thing fucking flew. And obviously, we were inebriated and driving in that car and went around this notorious corner in the city of Pittsburgh, probably at like, I'll never forget looking at him and him looking back at me and saying, we're going 140 miles an hour. And like as he was saying
Oh,
140, all I remember is like it was like absolute slow motion. Like everything just like stopped. You could see the, you know, the air freshener like just flickering very slow and pencils in the air because we were literally rolling. We
Like
rolled that car.
rolling.
Jesus.
We rolled
Oh,
it
that's
9
scary.
times. And you know those concrete medians in the middle of the
Yeah.
highway? We hit a concrete median so hard that we shattered it. Like
Oh my
literally to
God.
bits. And I had a piece of glass stuck in my ear and had some internal bleeding in my
Oh.
ear. And he had a piece of his seatbelt like cut into his arm.
Oh,
But other than that, like we literally walked away from that. I mean, we each
that's
had a scratch,
crazy.
but every doctor, hospital, like the EMTs that came to the scene, everything, they're like, there's no way on earth that anybody should have walked out of that car. Because the car was like, it's a plastic car. Like it was in shambles. There was nothing left.
Yeah.
So I believe that is like, it just wasn't my time to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I was 18 years old. You know, I mean, I have a lot of life left to live. I guess it just wasn't my time. And I don't know who says it's your time or not your time, but you know, that wasn't my time. But like, yeah, that's I would say that's cheating death.
Yeah, I
That's
would say so.
crazy.
Here you are,
I
20
forgot.
years later. Good as new.
I know. I
Yeah.
know. Who knows? Maybe it's still, maybe like it's still, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know how
it's
many
still
things I
coming
could
for
go
you.
through at 38. You know, it's tough.
I know, man.
It's still coming.
I forgot I fell asleep while driving. I always forget that. I fell asleep while driving one time and then I rammed into another car and then I woke up unconscious because my car was like accident detected. And
Oh,
then I was
wow.
like, the fuck just happened? And I woke up and I was like, oh my God, my face was like bleeding. So I could have died there, but I didn't.
My dad fell asleep at the wheel when he was younger, and he has like a scar on his like eye, because he like ran into like almost like flew off the road, but he ran into like a wall,
Oh my
or like a
God.
canyon, and like, but yeah, you can still see a scar, and like that's my biggest fear because I like taking road trips, but
Mhm.
sometimes like as I've gotten older, I get more tired,
Oh, totally.
and I like falling asleep. I feel like is one of my biggest fears, so I'll stop now. Like I actually like I won't keep trying to
No,
drive. Like
that's so smart. Mine was because I started new medication. So I
yeah,
literally, my body was just like,
you can't do anything. Yeah.
yeah. I was like, oh, okay. I was like on my way back home from work and I just like fell asleep while driving. And I was like, oh my God, I
That's
almost just
terrifying.
died.
Brian,
Brian,
tell
what
us
about you?
yeah, tell us how you fought
When,
Nessie and you survived.
yeah, I
Well,
know.
that's the thing. Like, death fears me. So,
Oh, damn. You have 0 near death experiences?
no,
Dude,
Brian's
I
this is
like
have
so,
like
Chuck
same.
Norris.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
I know, man, for real.
no, same as actually UGG. I was in a river swimming, and like, a current that I did not see pulled me under, and like I thought I was it, but thankfully,
Dude, it's scary.
like my friend that was there pulled me out because yeah, it's drowning is I think the scariest way to go, which is
It
weird
is.
because I love the idea of being underwater all the time, but
Ugh.
the thought.
Oh, yeah. You were like a freaking trying to be like a marine biologist or that's crazy, dude.
You know what's scary, Brian? Because like obviously you love water too, and like the ocean and all that. But scuba diving, the like if you
No,
I don't know what they call it, but when you like go too fast and you're
the
like
bends.
Decompressing.
The
yeah,
bends.
that's so
Oh,
scary to me.
It's disgusting.
Because doesn't your like brain explode or something? Like how does it like
it's
Yes.
like David Cronenberg invented decompressing out of the ocean because you just turn into body horror if you go too fast and explode.
Yeah. Like, I don't even know what happens. I guess you're like, yeah, what? You have an aneurysm or something like that? I don't even know.
I guess it'll be an oxygen thing, and it's just
Yeah, but that's disgusting.
that's
Because when they do
terrifying.
that in 47 meters down, I was like, I am never going into the water again.
fucking love the end.
That
of the 47
fucking
meters.
scene,
Dude.
the scene with the flare is the
Oh,
It's
greatest
so
yes.
cool.
thing ever.
The
Dude.
sharks. Yeah, that's like we don't belong in the ocean. We don't
No,
belong
we
in
don't.
space. We don't
Or
belong
the
in the
ocean.
ocean.
We belong right here on land.
Yeah, right here on land.
There's aliens in the ocean.
Yeah,
Dude, I know.
Cthulhu.
Oh my
But
God.
we already had that topic. Going back to Final Destination, though, what is it about this franchise that you think resonates with people so much? Like, why do you think it stood the test of time? Like, it really has, and it scared so many fucking people, including myself. And
It's like Saw.
yeah.
So I just freaking volunteered myself.
Yeah,
I feel
please.
like it's like Saw. I feel like it's like Saw because you literally can't run out of ideas about these crazy death situations. And so you're like, okay, let's see what they come up with next because literally all the Final Destination movies have the same exact formula
Mhm.
and like nobody bats an eye at how
Who
like
cares? Yeah.
yeah, how like repetitive the series is. It's like, I don't know, I just want to see these crazy deaths and like how they're going to like outdo the next one or like how they're going to relate the next one to the last one. You know what I mean? So, like, even like the weak Final Destinations are still so fun because they at least have like one or two insane death scenes where you're like, who thought of that?
Right. Chuck.
It'd be cool if they made like a crossover Final Destination Saw movie.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Listen, Final Destination, the thing that I think is brilliant about Final Destination and why I love them all, even the ones that the 3D one sucks, and I love it so much because it's fucking
Yeah, that one does suck.
Is that the
It's-
NASCAR one?
the fifth one, yeah.
Technically 4 and 5 are 3D.
4 and 5, yeah. But I like 4 is the one with the bridge. Or is
Yeah,
that
4,
3?
No, that's
5, 5's the
Five.
bridge.
No,
bridge.
five's the
5's the bridge
bridge.
that starts out with the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's 5 and then there's the Final Destination.
Yes.
After
Which is
No.
no, the Final Destination is 4.
The Final and then it's Final Destination 5.
Anyway, as you see that I am ultra prepared for this. But anyway, the thing that is fascinating to me and what attracts me to it is not just seeing the deaths, because obviously the deaths are really cool, but Final Destination did what like Paranormal Activity did. It made you scared of regular things, like, you know, or just like the Changeling. Like the Changeling had that ball that kept falling down the steps, and like every time you would see a ball, like it was like the scariest thing. And Final Destination didn't make you scared of like Freddy Krueger or some supernatural being or anything like that. Like it made you scared of like your fucking toaster and your electrical outlets and tanning beds and log trucks and going to your races and like these real life events. And the way that they break them down, like, because I watched the Final Destination last night, that's the NASCAR one.
Mhm.
But just the way that, like, you know, the gas can gets bumped and knocks the oil over onto the track, and he
Yes.
does the little slip, and that's not actually the wreck just yet. And then the piece of fucking door flies up and slices them people in half. But like just the thought process of how methodical they think that, like, you know, this piece can fall out of this gas tank, hit this, flatten that tire that makes this bolt come out, that cuts this fence to do like there's a lot, like it makes sense. Like it's
Yeah. No,
but
there's a lot of like
it's just cool.
It
Yeah.
is
when
cool.
you think about it, there is like so much to these movies where I'm like, I don't like that. They seem so silly on screen, but then when you're really trying to break it down, you're like, that's a lot of like logic that has to go into like how they make this work and then how it all connects to each other.
Mhm.
And then how they even then some of them further like connect to the other movies. You're like, oh, that is so many steps to like make sure that there's not plot holes. I don't know. They're kind of brilliant.
It's just crazy too. Like the first 3 movies, like, you know, after the first 3 openings, the first 3 movies, like, really, like, put like people were already afraid of flying, people are already afraid of driving, people are
Yeah.
afraid of roller coasters, but then to see that fear on screen just like instilled something that like people like can go back to year and year, and it just like, I don't know, they just found a way to make those things even scarier than they already were.
Yeah.
Like,
I have something I want to add, but Brian, I want to make sure that you
Yeah,
get your time in.
definitely.
Why do you think people come to the Final Destination series?
Yeah, like you guys have covered it. I haven't watched the Final Destination movies since whenever 5 came out, so that was the last time I watched.
Yeah.
that.
Wow.
But thankfully, Dead Meat, I did a kill count on them all, so I just watched that this morning and watched all 5
Yes.
of them.
And shout out to Horror Chronicles because she also did a spoiler series on those, which
She
I
did.
watched this morning.
So yeah, I just want to give a shout out to them for letting me recap all that stuff, or I would have no idea what we're talking about.
Oh,
So-
and also shout out Dead Meat because he was right in front of us in Companion and he was talking to us. And then I looked at Seth and I go, that's Dead Meat James.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to
we
love to meet
we said
James,
hi
he's
to
great.
them, but we didn't realize it was them.
I was
Well,
like, oh
Gigi
my
did.
God. I felt starstruck. Okay, one thing I want to do for listeners and for us so that it makes sense, so that they know is that okay, I'm gonna go over it. And this is very much like what I did with Saw, where it was like, this one has this kill. So okay, the first Final Destination is the premonition of Flight 180, where they all
Mhm.
die on the plane. Final Destination 2, it's infamous for the log truck. And then Final Destination 3 is infamous for the roller coaster as well as the tanning bed.
Yeah.
I think that is just as infamous
Yeah.
as the roller coaster scene. The Final Destination, which is Final Destination 4, this one sucks, and this one is, I think, the NASCAR. Yeah,
Yeah, NASCAR.
NASCAR. And then Final Destination 5 is
Bridge.
the bridge, where it's the bridge, and then the twist is that it's happened before the original Final Destination.
Technically a prequel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like technically a prequel. Like we realize
Which
that they
I
are
love.
on. Yeah, I thought that was so genius.
Yeah.
So now we know, because I literally was like, wait, what? Because then they all blend together. I was like, I forgot that the tanning bed and log one were both in 2.
Yep.
No, they're
in
different.
no, I'm
He's
sorry.
mixed up. He's
The
mixed
roller coaster and tanning bed are both in
Mhm.
3. See? I'm like, they all mesh together at one point. So now
They
you
do.
know.
If
Well,
I have
and
go ahead, Seth.
I was gonna say, well, now that you brought that up, my question to you guys was gonna be, obviously we have the scenes that scared the living shit out of us, like the log scene. It's the most memorable. But what's the one that gave you like the most like ick? The one that just like stuck under your skin and made you feel so uncomfortable. And we're gonna start with you, Chuck.
Probably the tanning bed.
Yeah.
Just because not only is that like the fear of like being burned to death and having your skin sizzle, but the claustrophobic effect of being
Yes.
trapped in such a tight space. Like that's fucking scary, man.
Anybody?
Yeah,
No.
Not that I tan. I mean, it's just like I naturally have this tone. It's
You
just
look
like
so
not
pale.
Yeah,
giving
you're
you-
you're
yeah, you know.
you look so pale. I was
So-
gonna be like, wow, you have this.
You need to go back to
I
the
think-
tanning bed.
You just
Yeah.
got out of this Greek vacation. No, mine was the tanning bed, because that's literally same exact thing. Like burning to death, disgusting. And then second, you're claustrophobic. But third, I feel like every girl has gone through a phase where you're like, oh yeah, let's go tanning. So I will never forget the first time that I went tanning, and I was like, I'm gonna die in this, which I
Yeah.
never do anymore. But like, I was like in high school, and I was like, I'm gonna die, and they were like, no, there's like things that make it to where you like it doesn't fully close and everything. And I was like, okay, so you've seen the movie too.
Yeah,
Fine.
it's same for me. Tan in bed. So I'm not just. I'll keep on talking about dead meat because maybe they'll put us on our podcast. But when James was doing his recap,
You're
he
such
said,
a slut.
and I
Yeah.
am.
Groupie.
Their goals, to be fair, dead meat. So
Mhm.
he was saying that like when he was at a certain age, I can't remember what age, he would go on like tanning beds and stuff because he wanted to be tan when he was young and cool.
Mhm.
And like he started to get like a red lump on his arm. And then he was like, "Oh, you might go check that out." And it turned out to be melanoma, so he had to get it all removed. So
Oh.
if you ever meet him, you can ask him. He's got like a huge scar on his shoulder.
Oh my god.
So he had a real life scare from tanning beds.
You should
That's
ask him
actually
that,
really
GG.
scary.
Yeah.
I know. We should have watched this before, and we'll be like, show us your scar
Show us your scar.
when we were in line. Oh my god, that's actually really crazy.
For me personally, I honestly, the one scene that like got me the most was in 5. Honestly, 5 had some of the best kills in the franchise. Like the LASIK one fucked me up, but the one that got me good was the
Dude, that one?
gymnastics one. The gymnastics
yeah.
scene when she's walking on the fucking high beam, whatever they call those
Yeah,
things,
the beam.
and then she like, does she step on the nail on there or is it on the ground? I don't
It's
remember.
it's another girl steps on it and knocks over whatever that powder is they put on her hands, and that
Yeah.
goes into her face when she's doing her flip, and then she falls
Yeah,
like a pancake.
it's just
And she snaps her spinal cord.
Oh god.
Yeah. Oh no.
That whenever a body like contorts like that and
No.
breaks, I'm just like, I'm good.
Was that the
Yeah,
end of
no.
your gymnastics career after seeing that? Seth?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Me
that's
too.
when I
Me
stopped.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you guys stopped tanning and doing gymnastics.
Yeah,
Damn,
stop doing the
dude.
rings, all that
Yeah.
prep work. Do you know what's really weird about Final Destination? This is something I thought about last night. For how methodically well written the kills are, and like how they think them out, so you see like all these pieces coming apart and like how they happen. Like I think that's great, but like sometimes like the thing that really bothers me is like, in the first one they decided like in order to cheat death they had to, there was like the line of people from the first person to the last, and that if they pulled that person out and broke the chain, that's like how they cheated death. And like they did the same thing Smile 2 did. They took the best of it and then they altered it a little bit to move the narrative forward. And like that always bothers me in movies, because it's like you establish this rule and then you keep breaking your own rules just to make movies. Like, granted, your kills and everything are cool, but like the reason that you came up with to get out of this is bullshit, because that's not what you told us 4 movies ago. So that's like my only gripe on it, because they are really, really fun. I just wish it would have kind of like stuck to that formula for me personally.
I think they also did this thing that Smile's done, that if you kill somebody, it skips you. And
Yeah.
I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
pretty much. And then also in which I did not remember, and I can't remember which one it's in. It's either 4, it's in the later ones, like either
It's in
4 or
5.
5.
I
What?
know where you're
Gonna
I know
say.
where you're going with this.
Where like where they I know, I was like, "What the fuck? Are you reading my mind?" I'm
Yeah,
like,
because I read about this
where
morning.
yeah, where like that where she like drowns herself or like where she like does where she kills herself, where she stops her heart. And I was like, "Wait, they did this in Smile where it's like literally the same exact thing. Like you either kill somebody or you like or you kill yourself." But then they were like, "Well, I'll just come back to life." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." But then that I can't remember if I don't remember which one had happened in it. It was
That
4 or
was in
5
2, because she drowns at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah, she
But
drives the
yeah, she
truck into
drives
the
the
river.
Oh,
ambulance
yeah,
into the
yeah, she
water.
drives the
Well,
ambulance in the water. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, yes. Okay, that was in 2. What the hell? I thought it was in the later one. Does she die? I don't
No,
even remember.
I
I don't
think
remember.
she does.
Like, how did that even pan out for her? Did that actually work for her?
No, I think she does die there. No, actually, she does survive the
Wait,
main
let me see.
character
I
because
have them right here.
Google this.
she's in like one of the newspaper articles, and the next one that her and the guy died from a wood chipper, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, killed in a wood chipper accident. And then I'm reading this article on last week and he goes, debatable. That's what it said. Which, okay, also, we did not mention how they fucking killed off Devon Sawa in between the movie. That's so
Oh,
lame.
yeah.
I think that's so lame that they were just like, and he's dead. And you're like, wait, you killed the main character and you didn't even show it on screen.
Wasn't even a
What?
good death. Like a brick fell from a roof and hit him and
Yeah.
Yeah,
killed him.
from
So
a
I'm
wow,
like, what? So
did him dirty.
stupid. That's so
Clear
lame. I hate that.
Claire Waters or Rivers or whatever. She's the best.
Yeah. Clear waters or rivers, whatever
What
body of water.
body of water. You know, like going back to the like whole like how to survive the death thing too. What I found was really interesting that I think they added this later on, and this is where I thought you were going with it, was that they said that if you kill somebody, um, you get whatever, like however long that they had left.
Yeah,
So
right.
like
So the time
even
was up, right?
yeah, so their time was up. So like if you killed somebody and they had like a brain hemorrhage, which is a thing in the 5th movie, like that they were already like gonna die soon, you only added like a few weeks. So I thought that was kind of like a cool little thing that they added to like make
Like
it seem
more intense, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
you can't
Yeah.
really escape death.
So that's not what. So you thought Gigi was going to mention that. So you
Yeah.
feel that your premonitions are crap then.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So
So
final
don't-
destination that was it. Seth, I'm like, I don't trust you, Seth.
yeah, don't trust your gut.
Yeah,
Right,
pretty
right.
much, yeah. At all. So what do you guys think of
The new one.
yes.
Like what I don't know what they're gonna do because literally, like I watched an interview with I don't know who it was, like the writer or the producer or somebody, and he's like, it's gonna be different than all the Final Destination.
Right.
It's not gonna follow like the same formula and stuff. But then I'm like, what are you gonna do? Because they all follow the same formula. So like,
Mhm.
are you just gonna come up with a whole new movie?
What
And
they
like,
should do is they have the premonition, and then they just don't get off whatever happens, and then they just all die, and it's just like a short.
I've seen a lot of I was looking on Blue Sky and on X, and there's a lot
Uh-huh.
of people that got to go to this has been going on for maybe 6-8 months. There's been some test screenings and things going on, and nobody's really said anything about it, but nobody said anything overly negative about it. So like I'm still excited to see it. Like it's one of my most anticipated for the next year. Just because it's it's Final
It's Final
Destination.
Destination.
Like
Yeah.
you're already this thing. They can make 37 of them, and I'm going to go see them.
It's the same exact way I feel about Saw. I'm
Yeah.
like, because they very much live in the same universe to me, where I'm just like, no matter how many you make, there's always something that you could do with like a kill trap or these premonitions, and I'm gonna want to see what you thought of. So I am actually very excited, and I mean, Tony Todd has been confirmed to be in the last one, which I think will be very sad to see, but
Yeah. I
I'm
like
glad
Tony Todd.
that he was casted in it.
Definitely.
His
As he
role in the
should be.
franchise too, like is so like important to like the franchise too. Like I feel like people
Yes.
like, and I don't know if they really like, obviously he works in like the morgue or the hospital or whatever it is, but like was it ever confirmed that he was actually death in the franchise? Or like because
Don't
like
think
I
so.
feel like they hinted at it.
I don't think so. I think they just kind of made him very like this ominous,
Creepy.
and he's just very
Yeah.
like, he's like so deep talking.
Mhm.
That's my Tony Todd voice.
It's
And
like
then,
it's like alluded to. I think it's more for you to like be perplexed by it without knowing, to add
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
different element to it. And if
I
you're
think
thinking about that, you can't think about the stupid ways that they're changing their roles.
yeah, and I also think that they might want that to be what the viewer, where it's like, okay,
Mhm.
they kind of there's like my brain isn't working because I slept for 2 minutes, but it's like they're synonymous with each other. Like it's like when
Yeah.
you see Tony Todd, you think of like, oh, he's gonna explain the death and like how
Mhm.
everything is happening. And also because he has this very like deep kind of like, dark character to him. So, but no, I don't think he's like death because
I love
like
his
he's the one
name.
that
Because in
yeah.
3, he's not like
Bloodworth.
he's just voices in 3. Is
Young?
that right? He's like the devil, like at the
Oh,
start of the roller coaster.
Yeah, see, that's what I was like.
So he's not in it as well. He is in it, but he's not.
yeah. Oh,
Like,
Right.
actually,
you don't see
yeah.
him.
It's like there but not there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would say no, but
Yeah. Wait, what's his last name? Bloodworth? Is that what it is?
Yeah, Mr. Bloodworth.
Okay, yeah. That's what I was like, did I just make that up? Um,
It's crazy. Like some of the people, like the actors that they got for some of the movies too, were like pretty decent stars. Like obviously you have like Devin Sawa and then Sean William Scott. Um, which his death was my favorite. It was so great.
to be fair, Devin Sawa kind of like dropped off the radar. Like he was a wee heartthrob, and then he vanished, and then
100%.
he came back, and it's like, oh, oh yeah, Devin
Well, he's
Oh
Sawa.
got
yeah,
Chucky.
Devin. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he is in Chucky. I
Yeah.
totally forgot about. But even that, I
And-
feel like that's kind of like still not, not a
Yeah.
lot of people watch that.
No, it's even like All My Friends Are Dead. Hashtag All My Friends Are Dead was the newest thing that he was in, and it's like nobody fucking heard of that movie.
Or Hunter,
Wait.
Hunter, which we all read
I
about.
watched the
He was
movie.
in
He
that.
was in it? He was in All My Friends Are Dead?
Yes.
Who the fuck was he?
Hold on. Oh, I
No,
no, I
talk
got
something
him
in a
mixed up
different
with that
movie.
other person that doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
Yep. Yep.
Justice for Devin Sawa.
I
No,
know, he's
you're
never
thinking
coming on
of
the podcast
Yes,
now.
I-
Consumed. You're
no,
thinking of
hold on.
Chuck's like, none of them matter, okay?
no,
Only
you
I.
do. You
I'm
mix up
thinking
these
of
two people.
I'm thinking of JoJo Sawa because they have the same last
Oh,
name.
JoJo
Yeah.
C.
Totally not the
Very-
same. Hey, for
very
anybody out there
similar.
listening, they're not the same place. They have been seen at the same place at the same time. They are different people. The Sawas.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
His name's not even the
Jesus
same.
Christ.
JoJo Siwa and Devin Sawa. They need to be in a movie together. Oh
Wow.
shit,
And-
that is so funny.
And Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, we got Devin Sawa, JoJo Siwa,
Oh, this
Joquin.
is so unhinged.
Gigi, I know you said you had some things that you wanted to ask us that you came up with, so wanted to pass it to you for a few.
Oh, yeah.
GG.
Yeah, well, I don't remember what I was gonna ask. Oh,
Well, while
no,
we wait, then I have a question. So,
oh, okay. Go
'cause
ahead.
Gigi takes
Take it
forever.
away.
Do you think out of all the kills, do you
Yes.
think there's some that you could survive?
I think I could survive everything.
Yes,
Yeah,
I have one.
Like for example, the in the bath, it does feel like just wrap your leg around the edge of the bath and lift yourself up, maybe, and you won't choke.
Yeah.
Like I understand you're panicking and stuff, but some of
Let
them,
me see.
I do feel like you could maybe get out of that.
Listen,
Um,
the one when they're in the swimming pool and the dude gets like sucked down to the bottom. Like, first of all, that's not possible, right? Like you can't like come on. And he just gets
I
sucked
saw it in a
through.
movie once, so it must
Yeah.
be possible.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like okay, maybe like the elevator one, like where her hair gets stuck.
Yes.
I'm like, no, just fucking rip your hair out. Like, it's not that hard to rip your hair out, even if you just like, I don't know. You could definitely rip your hair out.
Before we continue real quick, before I forget, I have to say this because I forgot how fucked this made me. The scene in the fifth movie where the person's getting the acupuncture and the fucking Buddha falls on top of it and pushes the acupuncture needles into their body. I get acupuncture, and the first time I went in there,
Yeah, I
I
thought
was
of you.
well, I was absolutely terrified because like the needles don't go that deep. But like that is a fear in the back of your head. It's like, what if it does go too deep? And like they leave you alone in a room for like the entire time. Like you can't move, you can't get up. Like that scene, fuck that scene. I'm
That's
sorry.
scary.
Yeah, you can go
No,
back to what you're
that
saying.
That is freaky. Also, I completely forgot about the bottom of the pool with his intestines getting sucked out
Yeah,
of his
just-
butt.
Yeah, like that's
What
not
the
real, right?
Who thought of this? Yeah. I was looking, there's on Collider, they have like all of the deaths ranked, and that's number 31 in case anybody wants to know, but it's just the asshole vacuum.
The asshole
Asshole
vacuum.
vacuum. Amazing.
It's so good.
That's
Apparently there's
crazy.
41 deaths in the Final Destination series. And
Soon to be more.
the worst one, number 41, the worst one is the off-screen brick of Devon Sawa.
Yeah,
And the number one, guess what the number one was?
the log.
Okay, what's your guess, Chuck?
The log truck.
What's
Or
yours, Brian?
the best kill.
The best kill, yeah. Which is like, yeah.
Because it's Collider and they're very clickbait. I don't think they'll choose what actually is the best one because they won't comment. So I think it's the one where like the fence comes and slashes the guy into like half and he slides off.
Oh, I
Todd
forgot
Williams
about
Scott.
that
Oh,
one.
I love that too.
Yeah, no, that's a
Sean
great
William
one
Scott.
though.
That is a great
No,
one.
it's the gymnastic beam.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, the parallel bar floor dive into total spine evacuation.
yeah. 1 point for Seth.
total
that's a-
spine
You don't get points when you get the
evacuation.
question wrong.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
answered wrong.
You know what?
Yeah,
I mentioned it earlier though. So
I mentioned it
okay.
earlier. That was my fear. Okay,
I mentioned it at one point, so I'm right.
I'm really good
I
at
had-
gymnastics.
I had deja vu that you mentioned that 10 years ago. It just came to me.
Oh my god.
This episode makes zero sense.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I love it so
I
much.
love it so much.
Yeah, this is incredible. What are you
Okay,
talking
if
about?
you had to think of your own like crazy, okay, if you had to think of
Oh,
your
come
own
on.
death scene, like you don't have to think of the
I
logistics of
love
it.
it.
You don't you don't have to think of
This-
the logistics of it, but just like what would you like, because there's some things that like Final Destination hasn't done. Like for example, like sharks. We haven't done like an underwater sharks thing. So like I feel like that would be mine. Mine would be like an underwater, because I hate that. Like, and you get so like anxious when you're like, okay, you're underwater, there's a creature there, you're losing air, like there's so many things. I would put mine like in an underwater shark type of situation.
You know what's funny is this is like the way I would go out is the way that you just like wouldn't expect. You know those like quokkas, those like really happy little hedgehog looking things.
Mhm.
One of those is just gonna
Oh
kill me.
yeah.
That like I would be the
That's
one
amazing.
person to die by a quokka, and that's where I'm gonna leave it at.
Yeah, I
You-
want
you
like a
trip,
really
trip
like
over it and it
Yeah.
puts your head on something. And it's just smiling at you as you bleed out.
Or
I want like a
Wednesday
really
kills me.
normal death. I want like
Yeah.
a really normal death in the series where they're just like, how did they die? And they're like, oh, like a Black Widow bit them. And you're like,
Yeah, he had a
Oh.
stroke.
yeah,
Died of old
okay.
age.
Yeah, how did he die?
Yeah.
Peacefully in his sleep.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
I know,
okay.
peacefully asleep. Cool.
I think the
What about you?
brilliance of it though is they use things that are like feel safe. You know what I mean? Like most of the things that end up being scary are like safe. Like millions and millions of people go to NASCAR races and nothing bad happens like to the audience, or people drive down the highway all the time because they feel safe in their car, or you know,
Yes.
airplanes are safer than cars. I mean, if by statistic wise, you know what I mean? So I think it would have to be something that's, you know, I love sharks. I would love to see like Final Destination underwater, or Final Destination in space would be cool too.
Like if they were like on vacation, like Final Destination vacation, and it even rhymes.
Vacation all I ever
Final
wanted.
Destination on
Vacation
vacation.
all I
On
ever wanted.
vacation, because then it's like these crazy, like
Yeah.
they're on a boat, they're underwater, like doing all this shit. Also, you just reminded me, Chuck, because you were like, oh, on the freeway. When I was moving from California to Nashville, we got like a U-Haul, and my stupid cat got scared and like ran under the brakes.
Remember this.
And literally,
I
we were
remember
like,
this.
yes, we were
Yeah.
freaking out that we couldn't hit the brakes. And I was like, okay, we're either going to squash her to death or we're going to die. But she got out, don't worry.
I'm
Right.
throwing
We
that
lived.
cat out the window. If that
Final
Yeah, no.
Destination vacation.
I
Or they
literally-
could
I
be
think
in
we
an
should do that.
they could be in an Aztec ruin that gets overtaken by plant creatures. Oh, my fault. That was
That's the
yeah,
ruins.
that was the ruins. Yeah.
Brian, what
honestly,
about you?
what they had that, sorry to interrupt real quick, but that hot tub
okay.
scene, or that hot tub like in Mexico a few months ago, like it electrocuted 2 people and killed them. That's like a Final Destination moment.
Ew. No, that's
I would
scary.
I would love to
I
see
hate hot
like,
tubs.
you know, those guys that build the scaffoldings around the big buildings, like in New York
Yes.
City, that put up like, you know, they have to walk across them beams and put the box
Yes.
scaffoldings up and go all the way up. I would love to see a sequence of like window washers on the side of a building, or something like that, or like those guys that build that scaffolding, because it's like one bolt, like that shit can go real bad real fucking
And that's
quick.
so
Yeah.
tense if they're
We do
like
have
holding
a-
on.
Not quite that, but we do have an almost kill like that where is it the kid running out and the pane of glass that's
Yeah,
been put up falls
Oh
down
yeah,
and
that falls
crushes him.
down. Yeah.
the LASIK scene
Oh.
too.
That kid is
That's
sometimes
big.
6 years old and sometimes 15 years old. It's like, how old is this child? Why is his mum reading stories to him at bed, but he's also out here swearing and things?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Brian, we skipped over you. I'm sorry.
That's
Oh,
okay.
yeah, Seth
I don't
interrupted.
really have like, I would also love sharks, but Gigi stole that. So
Oh.
I don't like the ones that are really fast because maybe I'm a bit sadistic. So I would like
Yeah, what the
something
fuck?
where like you can't breathe properly, so the oxygen's getting sucked out of some environment, but I can't think of what environment that would be in. Obviously, if it was underwater, it could be in a submarine, and maybe like one of those underwater submarines, and just a wee crack suddenly starts appearing in the window.
Oh.
The
So something
pressure
like
gets
that.
them.
Yeah, similar to those poor bastards that went under.
Well,
Oh.
if they're on vacation, they could do like when they're in the caves, and when there's like bad air in caves where it's like people think that there's air, but that you can't, there's like actually like no oxygen in there, or like whatever the fuck is in there that we breathe. And then they could suffocate that way.
Yeah,
I
something-
honestly
something
feel
suffocate you.
like they should hit me up and I will write Final
Yeah.
Destination on vacation.
There's so many
Like-
things you could do with vacation, because they could like take a
Yes.
vacation to like Yellowstone, and you could have like all the climbers on the side of
Yes.
and like have like the they nail the clip into the rock and that thing could go, or the rope could fray. There could be so many different ways to just watch people pummel to their death.
What
You
about
could also
zip lining? What about a
merge-
zip line?
Sure, in New Zealand, the big
I
one
can only
in
I can only
Dubai.
think of Tim Robbins being like,
Oh, because
Did
what if
anybody
the
watch
zip
that?
line?
Wait, what?
like the Tim
Oh,
Robinson sketch where it's just
in-
like, I think you're only here for this. The
Yeah,
zip
through the
line.
zip
Oh,
line.
yeah.
Zip lines are scary. Like, what if
Love
you're
that.
fucking going through the jungle and like a monkey just flies on you and beats your face up?
Wait, have you guys ever been ziplining?
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
It's so fun. Okay. I
fun.
was like, why are you guys scared of it?
But what if the zip line? What if this, like that one in Dubai, is the longest zip line in the world that goes all the way across the city, like across the water?
Ew.
Like it. I mean, it's insane, like how
No.
high it is and how long it is. But not only is there the fear of like being the person on the zip line and dying, but what if that tension of the zip line snaps and then they show the zip line like, recoiling through the city and just like chopping cars and people and shit in half? That would be
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
They should
That'd
just
be
make a
pretty
movie
cool.
called Zipline.
Yeah, I know. That's actually.
They made Fall, so we may as well make zip
Yeah.
I
line.
was just gonna say when you
I
were talking
hate
about the
that
clip-in
movie.
thing in the beginning, when dude, that's
Do you guys
that's a
like that
very-
movie?
I
I
didn't
really
mind
liked
it.
the
I thought it was
characters. I
okay.
thought the characters were really cool. What about you, Chuck?
Really?
No, I
Yeah,
just know you. I know you.
I was
hate
like
the movie video.
It took me about 9 minutes to decide for the rest of the movie. I was just like, please just jump and get this over with.
I didn't
It's
mind. I didn't mind them. I
do a
thought it was.
Just
I thought it
jump
was
it was
like
okay.
47 meters down, like the opposite of
on
that.
on a tower
Yeah, upside
Yeah.
down.
with air.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That was
What's
all my
every-
questions.
Yeah. What's everyone's favorite Final Destination?
2.
I think I like 2. I like the first one a lot too.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2. I think they tightened stuff up a little bit. So
They
just
do.
characters are a
Yeah.
little
The
better.
deaths are cool.
2
say
is like
2.
the smoothest, actually, like a movie, like with the least amount of like issues in it that you can't really pick it apart. I thought.
Yeah. I really love 2.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and it traumatized everybody. I also
Yep.
think it's like they just thought of things in your everyday life where you're like, okay, this is just stuck in my head. Maybe it's not even the best one, but it's just the one that sticks in everybody's head because nobody can drive on the freeway ever in their everyday life. Literally in your everyday life. I think of Final Destination every single day.
There's constantly pictures on Twitter and the internet of that log, the log truck or whatever. It's like, oh,
Yes.
Final Destination time.
I have a kind of story about that. So when I was driving back, because I think I sent you all a picture once of a log truck that I got stuck behind.
Yes.
Put in a good job, but like a different log truck was coming down the road, so I wasn't behind it, so I wasn't so worried. But suddenly, like one of the logs went up the way and then fell over to the side of the road, and I was like, what I didn't think this stuff actually happened.
No.
And
Ew.
So like 3 or 4 logs fell up, and like nobody was hurt or anything. But I was like, Jesus, that's. And also the poor bastards in that lorry must have been like, how am I going to get these back on this lorry?
Yeah.
Right.
I just drive past.
Yeah, I know.
Can't park
Have
there, mate.
fun.
Yeah. I had something similar where I was driving on the freeway, but it was a construction car and the ladder in the back flew off.
That's
And
so scary.
I saw it happening, so I luckily like stopped. Like I literally put my like flasher lights on and stopped, but it was like coming at me and then the car next to me. But that was fucking terrifying. Like just seeing this ladder fly off this guy's truck.
Yeah.
No, that's what's scary because it's like literally if that just like flies through your window, there's like
You,
I
you
know
can't
there's
do
like
anything.
that. No, I know there's like that crazy video of like somebody just like hitting like a piece of wood or something and it
Yeah.
flew through the window and then like you don't see it, but you can hear the person screaming because obviously like it hit the person next to them. I'm like, no, which I feel like I should get a dash cam.
Yeah.
Oh, this is why I don't drive. I don't even have a car. I don't drive anywhere. I don't leave my
Since
We
we
house.
don't
got all
trust
falls
Gigi.
asleep at the
Me-
wheel.
Yeah, we
I
don't
don't
trust
drive.
Gigi driving.
I
After
gave
I
up
fell asleep at the
driving.
wheel, I was like, this isn't for me.
It's like the opening of The Descent with the freaking logs in the car.
Yes. that's
Yeah,
true.
no.
I really am curious to hear what the audience thinks in the comments and on Instagram. Like, what's your final destination moment, or what do you think would make a good final destination segment? And what part of it scares you the most? I'm interested to see what the people have to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please
Any,
hit the
any
comments.
producers want to make my movie?
Yeah, I was just
idea.
gonna say that. And if anybody wants to make Final Destination on vacation, I am available.
Yes. Well,
Brian, I
it-
think that's such a good idea that I'm literally sending that message. When
No,
we log off
Starlets. I
here.
think that's great. I love the name too.
I'm,
It is
I'm gonna
good.
I'm gonna hit my famous friend up.
My famous friend.
It's
Which
not,
one?
Actually,
You're so
I'll not
famous.
say what I was going to say.
Would you still hate that movie, Brian, if that person wants to make your movie?
Oh, 100%. I'm happy. I'm happy to be like, look. The more I thought about it, if it's the same person,
Oh,
like,
it is.
At first I was like, I don't really want to speak to that person, but now I'm like, I think they would take criticism well, because I'm
100%.
not just like
She wants the
this movie
criticism.
fucking sucks. I'm like, here's the reasons it didn't work for me. Which
Yes.
I think it's valid to hear. So,
Absolutely.
So now I'm like, okay, actually, maybe it would be all right to speak.
No,
to
Brian, shit on it. Tell him how you really feel.
Shit on
her.
it.
But I did technically. Like I did a whole YouTube video, but I was in it. I was like, also sub to my YouTube. But I was like, here's the reason. Here's the
Jesus.
reason.
Sub
Sub to my YouTube. Sub to Brian's YouTube.
Yeah,
Oh
here's
my
the reasons why
God.
it didn't work. So
Yeah.
Brian, you bored Gigi's dog to death.
You know, he's like, shut
Oh, no.
up. But no, as long as you have the reasons as to why you don't like something, you're
Yeah.
not like, I don't think you're shitting on it. You're just criticizing.
If everybody blows you about your movie and blows smoke up your ass, how are you going to get better as a filmmaker? Like, the criticism matters. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
people will, if I notice
No.
stuff about other people's videos, or if you notice stuff about mine or the podcast, like, please message me and tell me, like, oh, the way that light was on your eyeball or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, we want to be the best that we could be. And I think
Mhm.
filmmakers are exactly the same. So
don't message me. I cannot take criticism.
Don't, I'll cry.
I will
No, you have to-
delete my
you have-
account.
there's a
Delete my account.
there's a grievance tab on Brian's website. Findmeinthepub.com.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
thanks for listening to our episode, my friends. As always, you can find us on all. My dog
Look
is
at
like
your
going
dog.
ham,
I know.
dude.
Look at
Do you
him.
So
see
cute.
him?
Look at him.
That's what I'm
He is like, Mom, shut up.
He's going hard.
stop yapping, Mom.
I know,
I know.
dude. Well, you can find us on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. Please, if you can head over to YouTube, like, sub, share, comment, everything that helps us get out to the algorithm. Dude, he is not stopping.
He doesn't give a
And we
fuck.
have a Ko-fi in case you want to support otherwise, but just liking, sharing, commenting on all of our weekly episodes really helps us. We do have a another episode coming out this week about Thanksgiving horror.
Gobble,
which-
gobble, motherfucker.
Gobble,
My
gobble,
favorite
babe.
holiday.
I know. Which I was just going to say, it's going to be very interesting because Brian does not celebrate Thanksgiving. But also, everyone always talks about the same Thanksgiving movies. But so I'm curious if there's any. Like, I'm really going to truly try to scour the internet to see if there's
Mhm.
any that I haven't seen, even if they're like negative stars. But we will be back for that Thanksgiving episode, which will be early, actually, because it's Sevkin. I know, it's freaking dog. And then did I miss anything else? I don't think so, dude. He died.
No, Wednesday's like, what are you laughing at? I was like, oh.
I know. We will see you guys. We love you. As always, stay haunting. Don't die. Don't let death catch up to you.
Bye.
Bye.